So the first thing I'm going to ask you to paint is a wrapper or a section which has quite simple color. So for example, the Kit Kat is just flat white and red, or it could be this area, or it could be this area of the Walker's Crisp. So we're looking at mixing quite simple colors and showing that you're able to mix the lighter colors first. So if we look at the Kit Kat wrapper he started to paint, the first thing I note is, although there's a good deal of accuracy in his painting, I don't think he's quite got the color red correct. So if we start off and do our check, so before we do anything, we are going to make sure our paints are clean, as we've done before. Take the excess color off. And finally, we just do this red, which is a bit dirty. So let's start off checking our colors. This red to me looks a bit dark. This red looks a bit light. So we're going to mix them together. Normally I would start off with the white, but the white is painted relatively accurately there. Let's just have a look at that. That looks like it's pretty accurate, but I think it needs to be slightly darker. So that looks pretty good to me. Now, if you can look at the difference, this is painted far too lightly. So back to our normal process of painting, twisting the brush into a point, making sure we have a good consistency of paint, not too watery and not too thick. Then painting with the tip of the brush. And then, as we've done before, when it comes to painting the other edge, we're turning the paper around. Now what you'll find is, if you paint a colour incorrectly, when you try to paint over it a second time, it becomes that much more difficult because you're not painting on clean paper. So I'm not going to paint all of it. I'm just going to paint the K. So he's worked correctly in the sense that he started off with white, then he's gone on to the red. But one of the problems with going on to the red is he hasn't made an accurate enough color. So one of the things I notice also, which would be the last thing to do, if you look at this red there, it's a little bit darker in areas on the right-hand side of each letter, which makes it look a bit more three-dimensional. So for example, to get up to the next level, I'd want to work with some dark red. Now there's two ways I could darken that red up. I could even darken it with some black or a little bit of blue. So here I'm going to work with a slightly darker color red. I think it's about right. And then I'm going to try to make it look a bit more three-dimensional. There's nothing on this side of the letter, so that makes it K look a bit more three-dimensional. Now it would be possible, even though we've mentioned that some of the lettering isn't accurate, if his painting was extremely good, he could easily get it up to a secure plus. And it might even be possible, even with these errors, to get it up into the excellent grades. The enlargement might not be excellent, but the painting could be of a very high standard, which would allow it to be marked as an overall excellence.